and welcome. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jay Wilson, and on behalf of the class of 2019, it is my honor to thank you all for celebrating this milestone with us. Today, you will all watch as we cross this stage to embark on our next chapter. However, as we look back on the last 4 years of our lives, we have overcome every hurdle life threw at us to make it to where we are now. We endured the sleepless nights, the heartbreak, the anxiety, all of which have played a key part in our stories. We began our narrative 4 years ago, when we came to high school with expectations. Whatever they were, by us being here today means they've been met. Now the big question arises, what comes next? For some of us, that means the military, others continuing our education, or simply joining the workforce. No matter what comes next for us in our lives, the last 4 years have prepared us in full. The success we are celebrating today was a result of the risks we were willing to take and the bonds we were willing to make. I am honored to say that today we have grown. We are different from our freshman selves. Although, it seems as if not too long ago, we were those young, ambitious freshmen, wandering the crowded halls as if they were the streets of New York City, gazing up at the tall seniors in awe. We attended dances, only to jump up and down, drenched in sweat, and afterwards, talk about how bad the DJ was. Although sophomore year wasn't much different, we all just dreamt about the day we'd get our license, and eat lunch on the upperclassmen side of the quad. We still acted as if freshmen were years younger than us. Junior year was long and difficult. It saw us grow into young adults, as some of us got jobs and became more responsible. And as for senior year, it was a blur of emotion. From college applications to senior sunset, it all went by too fast. And now we're here, reminiscing about the good times and wishing we could have known, as young freshmen, what we know now. However, before we write off this chapter and begin the next, we must administer praise to those who have accompanied us all this way. In the last 4 years, we've watched as people left and entered our lives. Despite this, our family, whether that be by blood or just those who have stuck with us through it all, have been our support. And to our administration, teachers, staff, thank you for putting up with us for 4 years and being more than just our teachers. Many of you have become our friends and mentors. For example, Mr. Feld, for being a friend. Mr. Paulus, for supervising the Rowdy Raiders. The custodians, for keeping our campus clean and being a friendly face around school. And to Mrs. Wilson, because not only do you have an amazing last name, but you made all of us being here today possible. The people that we have been surrounded by through the Rio community in the last 4 years have played a particular role in this chapter of our lives. I could stand here and list individuals all night because Rio is just that exceptional. Just take our band and sports programs, for example. Evidently, our band is top 15 in the country. Yeah. Great musicians. Like my friend Max McCall and Toby Keys. Our class was a part of the first football team to go to playoffs in 10 years. And we ended our rival losing streak of 9 years by blowing out El Camino 2 years in a row. Led by Jack Cartwright and Vinny Cracchiolo. We witnessed as Kate Jasper broke the record for single-season blocks in women's basketball, and as Cole Ramazzini and Jake Paxton held up the Jack Scott Tournament Championship Trophy for the first time in 5 years. Our water polo team was second in Northern California last year. And best of all, we have the best student section in Sacramento, led by my good friend, Matt Lynch. As fun as it was to listen to Jake and Dee stutter in the announcements every day, I think we can agree I'll miss them more at the rallies. As we leave here today to pursue our passions, we have the opportunity to take on the world and make a difference. Our former First Lady, Michelle Obama, once said, "You may not always have a comfortable life, and you will not always be able to solve all the world's problems at once. But don't ever underestimate the importance you can have, because of history has shown us that courage can be contagious and hope can take on a life of its own." So graduates, tonight, before we leave, let us be guided by courage into the future, and always remember that we all have a story worth telling. Thank you.